Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where we are currently desperately trying not to go to war, but we need it. I don't know. We'll see how successful we are. I really do want to do some things first though. Before we go to war, we absolutely need to remove a couple of forts. This fort is extraordinarily unnecessary with this fort here. So we're going to remove that. That is top priority. We're also going to remove this fort because I feel like it's unnecessary with this fort here. So for the moment, we're not really optimizing for like dealing with barbarians. We're optimizing for dealing with invasions, right? I'm not too concerned about barbarians, to be honest. So for now, that seems okay. That is going to reduce the amount that we're spending on forts by a significant amount. So let's let this month tick go through and let's see this jump from 1.32 to 4.62. Yeah, that is extraordinarily significant. We have a martial perk available here, and we're going to take military values. There we go. And then veteran warrior will eventually happen. Now we're at 205 gold, and we should absolutely do something with that. So I'm thinking probably a farming settlement somewhere. Slaves needed for local surplus, yeah, and this isn't actually telling us how much this is going to, if this is going to produce anything or not. I have a feeling none of these are going to produce anything at these current tech levels. So we're going to build in Mentawai. There we go. And that'll be fine for now. We really do need to build a lot of structures, and we would really like to not go to war for a bit. I feel like we should just chill. Absolutely hard chill for the time being. We're making 5 gold per month right now, and that's enough that we can definitely work towards getting some... Okay, this is 18. Noted. We're definitely making enough that we can work towards getting some buildings constructed. I do want to expand the size of our navy by 1 ship because we're going to need 18 in order to utilize our levy on the ocean, or rather on the sea. So that'll be fine. We'll get that completed. And we'll be working on this farming settlement for a while. At the very least, we get a base resource production out of each of these, and that alone makes this pretty worthwhile, right? So that is good. Next up, I don't believe we can build any mines at this point, so we'll be prioritizing farming settlements. But we'll see what else we can work on. Died whilst escaping from incarceration. Okay. Well, I hope he had fun with that. So we've got this area all colonized up, quote unquote. I don't think we're ever going to be able to reach up over here. We shouldn't. That should never be a thing until we push up over here. So that's okay. Is this all uncolonized up here? Oh my. That's a lot of uncolonized space up here. Noted. So here I am eyeing up this territory and thinking, imagine if these guys didn't exist. But at the same time, I really feel strongly like we should not go to war at this point, especially with the alliance between these two. We know that we can probably defeat them. It's not that we're scared of their alliance. It's more that we're scared of how much it's going to cost us. Speaking of costing us, that event just costed us 50 gold, which is like 10 months worth of income. That's extremely significant. We're at 50 stability right now. I suppose we could maybe come in here and strong arm to get most of that back. I don't like doing that, but I'm going to do it. I want to have that money. So we're going to bring that in. We're at 42 right now. Are we still... Okay, this is not going up at this moment from the pig stab. That seems to have expired. So we should definitely perform more divine sacrifices. We're absolutely going to do that. A minor addendum, huh? 6 stability for 10 political influence is absolutely something we're going to gain here. 100%. That is very worthwhile at this moment. So that looks good. We need to have additional funding coming through. And how much of this is coming from trade? Literally none at this moment. Okay. So taxes and commerce, we just don't have enough of a surplus of goods, I think, that we're able to sell it on the market. So that is definitely something that we want to work towards. Our primary income is ultimately going to come from trade, not from taxes. I mean, commerce here is 3.63, but we want that number to come up a lot. No doubt about that. So we can definitely come in here. Our export value would drop, but import value would go down. We probably want to have free trade. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's going to give us a fair amount of additional cash, about 0.44. So that's very solid. We could strong arm again. The question is, should we? Probably not. But I'm doing it anyway. So we're going to do that. That seems relatively fine. Okay, it's not fine. It's very not fine. But we're going to have enough to build another farming settlement quite soon. We have enough to build a colonia right now, but I don't want to build that. That is not going to be tremendously economically useful for us at this juncture. So that's okay. We're going to be building another farming settlement, I believe. That's currently about 3 months away. So we'll wait on that. That's reasonably fine for the moment. So fleet maintenance is 1.14. Is that dropped to minimum? Yes, it is. So that's as low as that's going to go. Noted. Would that go lower if... Is there any, like, ability to mothball? No. Okay. What about if we were to upgrade the port? I don't think that would actually change it. No. That would be nice if upgrading the port would reduce the amount of upkeep that ships docked there cost. But unfortunately, that's not a thing. So that's fine. I'm not surprised about that. I didn't think it was a thing, but we might as well check, right? It's been a while since we played Imperator, and some of those things might be changed by Terra Indomita. It's hard to say. So we're going to have enough to get another structure building on this next month tick. That is phenomenal. We don't have anywhere to build mines, so farming settlements is absolutely what we're going for. That base resource production is extraordinarily good for us at this point. Any of these other things are probably not going to be phenomenal, but I want to get... We've got 4 more farming settlements to build. Let's get going on them. Absolutely. So this farming settlement is going to be done in 60 days, and that will increase our income by some amount. The question is, by what amount? Making 5 gold per month is reasonably solid. I'm going to put in this guy as the war chief. Okay, that seems good. I don't want to spend gold on this. We would get gold and tyranny, and we're doing it. We need all the gold we can get our hands on right now. So that would be great. All of that gold is going to be invested, of course, in making additional gold. So we can see right now, we're going to have a month tick before this farming settlement finishes. So let's allow that to tick forward. There we go. And we can see at this point, we are at 5.08 income. We can hop in here and watch that number as this farming settlement finishes. 5.07. Well, that's not actually where that's going to be, I don't think. But that food might be getting consumed by one of our cities. If that's the case, then we would not expect this number to come up too much. 5.1? Okay. Yeah, it appears to be relatively minimal. We're still consuming we're still consuming goods. We don't have much for surpluses at this time. That is understood and reasonably normal. Not particularly surprising at all. So, checking in on these guys, if their alliance were to break down, I think that we would obviously go to war with Kedah. As it is, we could win the war. But would we want to take the war at all? Is the question we have to ask. I don't know. I mean, it would be very worthwhile eventually. I'm just wondering about our development curve here, right? That is the main consideration. And honestly, it doesn't cost us that much to go to war in terms of treasury. It's mostly in terms of manpower. We're gaining 40 manpower per month. How long until we reach cap? So our cap is 4379 minus 1894 divided by 40. 62 months until we reach cap is the answer. 63. It'll have to be rounded up. So 63 months until we reach cap. That's reasonably fine. Monthly civilization change down here. Let's grab this for now. I was sorely tempted to grab the morale of armies from our deity of war, but if I did that, I would feel like we had to take this fight. As it is, I would greatly prefer that we not do that. 18 gold for 6 stability. That's an interesting trade, and I'm going to take it. Reason being, strong arm is 45 gold for 8 stability. So we can just trade that back and have more money. I like it. That's very solid. That's about 5 months worth of income that we got out of that. So that's very, very good. Do we want to launch this attack somewhat soon? Well, I'm actually noticing that there's apparently some fire going on down here. Not sure exactly what's going on with that. They're still in their alliance, of course, and there's some CBs going around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start fabricating a claim out on these guys. We're not going to take up that claim immediately, but we are going to attack them soon-ish. Soon-ish. Definitely. Lack of surplus in various locations, of course, does mean that we're not getting huge amounts of economic gain from these constructions, but what it does mean is that we're not getting loss from not having those resources, right? So that's fine. In our capital right now, we've got a bit of a surplus of precious metals. Okay, sure. We're going to want to start building our building structures fairly soon. We've got this city up here. I haven't determined what we want that to be. Slave pops producing glass. That'll boost up local citizen happiness. Okay. That's interesting, for sure. But it's not necessarily telling us that we need to go one way or another. We'll probably make that into a research city. I'm a big fan of research cities in Imperator. I feel like they're very, very useful. So we'll probably end up going that route. How are we doing on our tech anyway? Well, we don't get a lot of research points right now. That's for sure. We definitely don't get a lot of research points. Okay, additional ideas spreading, though, which brought us up to level 2 on most of these categories. So, we've got 3 innovations that we can do. We could head down to liturgies and get that sweet, sweet national tax, and Panay would get 4 local city building slots. Let's do it. So we're going to take that. That sounds great. And then this is pop cap. What I'd really like to see is pop growth, which I believe is under oratory. So that's pop cap there. No, it's under religious, isn't it? Generally. So yeah, that's national population growth there. So integrated culture happiness, provincial loyalty, global monthly food modifier into grain rations, giving us that sweet, sweet national population growth. So then we'd head down here as well. Yeah, let's grab this for now and start making our way down that way. National population growth would be phenomenal for us. We absolutely could use more pops. This farming settlement is going to be done in February. I'm wondering, are we going to have enough to keep this consistently building? It'll be close, but I think we'd have to strong arm. I'm not necessarily interested in strong arming at this time. It would drop us below 40 stability. Okay, I'm going to do it. So with the strong arming, that did not take too long. With the strong arming, we are going to build another farming settlement, and we're going to build that in Gaio. Cool. So we'll get going on that one. That'll take a while to build, but we absolutely need to get the farming settlements finished up. We only have a couple more of them that we can build. After the farming settlements are done, we're probably not going to build things like, say, an upgrade for this. Well, the rice would be probably a farming settlement. That's vegetables there. Things like these pearls. That would probably end up being, I think, a slave estate would be what would need to happen there. Population growth and pop cap, slave output, and slave desired ratio. But what that doesn't do is reduce the amount of slaves needed to produce an additional output. So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that and try to determine what that wants to be. But I think after our farming settlements are done, we're going to want to start building up our cities. So that'll be important. This is a settlement. Do we have any cities on this continent right now? We do not. We would get this city by fighting Keta. Okay. So we've only got the 3 cities in total. That is absolutely noted and is not necessarily ideal. This is a settlement up here, right? Okay. So we're going to attack these guys before we cap our manpower, but I do not want to fight at this moment. We're going to do that around the time we cap the manpower, which is still a couple years out. So that's absolutely okay. Farming settlement will finish up. We're going to continue to work on this. We are seeing our income go up. Mostly this is via taxes. I want to check in on our taxes here. So this would be population happiness plus 10%, research points minus 20%, but plus 12% slave output. So that's probably not actually going to be beneficial for us to change anything around on for the moment. That seems reasonably fine. So we're going to continue to push up this peninsula, for sure. And this is a fantastic choke point for us to hold. We would absolutely want to have forts here, or potentially, like, here and here would be absolutely ideal. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. Okay, a tribesman moving into our territory? Absolutely. This can put us at odds with Keta, but we're planning on defeating them soon anyway. So we'll take a pop. Absolutely, that is great. Putting us at 5.28 income. That income absolutely needs to be brought up. No doubt about that. We should move our navy over here. Okay, Keta has declared us an enemy of their nation. Hilarious. We'll see if they want to do anything about that. Their levy is moving up to here. Noted. They'd have to siege through here and or here in order to actually do anything. So I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. We need to keep in mind they have a high-level fort here, though. But what that does mean is that they're going to have a hard time. Like, they're spending a lot of money on forts. No doubt about it. There's a lot of fort maintenance money going on there. So that's reasonably fine. I'm very pleased about that, actually. Spend all your money on forts. Absolutely. Meanwhile, we are investing our money into our economy. And that is going to, in the long run, be the far better play. In the short run, not necessarily. I want to be clear about that. But in the long run, yeah, for sure. So we need to import at least 2 iron into a particular location for that. Okay. Noted. So, I mean, we're not too far away from these at this point. Our oratory advances have advanced, and we want to grab Fug at this point. There we go. Perfect, and that's going to take us into herbalism, into grain rations. We just want to get all of these national population growth innovations grabbed as soon as possible. So we're going to need to... Does this require both? No, it requires one of. So we're going to have to take reduced governorship at a certain point. That's not a bad thing to do. All of these are right up over here, right? And that's great. We're very pleased about that. Now, there are manpower gains to be had down here as well. That's fine. We're going to absolutely be generating more research points soon, because we're basically getting pity research points at this point. And that's not great. We don't want to have that. But eventually we'll get there. So in places like our capital here in Panay, we can have up to 14 buildings here. That's a lot of buildings. We can grab our final martial perk here, the veteran warrior trait, and that'll be fine. So that is all of these traits that we can grab. That's wonderful. We may want to switch into a different focus at a certain point. So like in oratory focus, this would be charisma, statesmanship, fertility, family prestige. Sure. I'm just wondering what these end up looking like. Okay. And let's check in the zeal focus. Civilization change, conversion, and assimilation speed. Noted. In the civic focus, national population growth. Ooh. Okay, so monthly wealth does not actually help us. That is the ruler's personal wealth. Holdings are going to be largely the same. I'm going to go for this mostly because I want to get that land appropriation. So that'll be fine. We don't really need to continue on the military focus since we have all of those upgrades fully maxed out for the moment. So that seems fine. And we're still working through this manpower. 4234 is now the cap. Looks good. And we're seeing that income slowly tick up. That's excellent. The farming settlement is going to be done very soon, so we're not going to have a construction going here for a while, at least not without strong arming, which I'm going to do. There we go. And that's going to be boosting up our stability. Our stability is not great at this moment, and we should probably pig stab. There we go. That'll be boosting that stability up nicely. And we're going to continue this treasury, but we should be able to, at this point, almost be able to build a farming settlement. Almost. I want to check in on the Colonia. Okay, that's the number of locations that we haven't built buildings in, rather. So 2 farming settlements remain. Let's build in Bahal. And that'll be done soon enough. So that's looking absolutely great. We're going to be producing lots and lots of food out of our bread basket, and food is, of course, valuable. Absolutely, food is valuable. But once we are completed building those, I do not believe that there's going to be any other buildings here. I want to look through. Are there any of these that just give us a base production? I don't think there are. So we're just checking through here. Enclosures do. Okay. If we can build any enclosures, we will. I'm not sure what those require, though. So enclosures would be fine. We just want that base resource production for the time being. Like, going from 1 to 2 production is actually a pretty big deal. Inflammation, sure. So, like, for example, if we come here, we can see, yep, we definitely are producing double the vegetables despite only having 3 pops here. That's great. And they're all tribesmen as well. So that's, you know, mildly awkward. We do need a new religious researcher. That'll be this guy. Cool. And there's apparently a scorned family right now. I'm not too concerned about a scorned family, though. So for the moment, that seems fine. We are approaching our cap, which is currently 39.97. Now it's 40.38. So we're about 700 away from our cap, which means that we're a little under 2 years from capping our manpower. I want to check in on the status of this alliance. Okay, it still exists, so that's noted. They are 80 and 15 pops to our... I want to go into here. Hang on. Into here. There we go. To our 184. So we should have a pretty solid boost on that. This is definitely still 18, so we have 4 heavy infantry, 13 light infantry, and a supply train. We should be better at fighting now, though, so that's good. And we could hire mercs if we really needed to. We're in a much better financial situation on that front. But I think we're not quite there yet. So we're basically done with this episode. I'm going to commit to not going toward this episode. But I'm starting to feel the itch. We're going to have to attack Keta fairly soon. And this will be a big power play. We'll move virtually the entire way up this peninsula. And that'll be great. We'll need to be able to split our army in half and make our way around these impassable terrains, but that should be good. We're very pleased about this situation, in theory. We don't even need to siege these simultaneously. And we probably won't, in all actuality. So that looks good. We should be in a good spot to declare this war next episode. But for now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're almost certainly going to be going to war, and we're going to start to look to push up this peninsula. We're making a much better amount of money at this point, and I'm feeling much more comfortable about our financial situation. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. Apparently we had a small onion harvest. It was a bad event. I chose the less bad option.